Hello, hello, and welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful sunny day here on the property, and I have been looking forward to making this video for you all. Talk about the top 15 things that I think are important questions and thoughts that should be on your mind as you are trying to find the perfect property or a home you and your family for this next season. So if you are new here, hello, my name is Nicole. My husband and our 4 kids spent the last year traveling around the United States in this RV that you actually see me sitting in right now. We lived in Mexico for the 3 years prior to that, which is a whole another story in and of itself. Decided we wanted to return to the United States. We didn't want to live in San Diego again because, well, the food in Southern California and the beaches and everything that is available there is so lovely, and I really do miss the coffee shops and the food. The politics and the cost of living and everything is just absolutely astronomical and insane, and so we just decided that chapter had closed. That season was over for us, and we needed to decide where we were going to live, where we're going to settle. So we ended up buying this RV that you see me sitting in here. My sister, Aubrey, who was living with us at the time, she helped us paint through this entire RV. We reupholstered. Maybe we'll have to do a whole nother video on that. Let me know down in the comments if that would interest you, if you want to have more of a full-length video about what this process was like. We actually have some projects we're going to do at some point before we sell this. We got on the road in March of 2022. We did a bunch of traveling. We went and visited a lot of the places that we thought we would want to move. We visited a bunch of churches, and we ended up, very long story short, we ended up settling on North Carolina. My husband's twin brother lives here with his family in the Raleigh area, and the stars all aligned, and there's very much more to that story, but we ended up deciding to settle here, and we spent the entire fall of 2022 searching for the perfect property for our family in the season. And in that process, I feel like I learned a lot. We have just been so excited to finally have our own place that we can make our own, that we can make memories with our kids and really kind of settle after a really crazy 7 years for Adam and I, and for our kids. We moved 6 different times in the 7 years, and we're ready to be in one spot and to stop packing and searching for houses, and we're so grateful to be here. It's really cool to look back and see over those months of us searching for the perfect property for us here in North Carolina, to see how God's hand was really evident. We love Jesus and believe that he is such an active part of our moment by moment living. And it was a huge leap of faith coming here, especially for me, the house hunt as well. And I just learned so much. And so in this video, I am going to give you the top 15 questions and things that I think you need to consider when you are buying a property. I wanted to run through the 15 things with you and kind of talk you through how these questions and just kind of things of self-reflecting and just almost like a litmus test was so helpful for us as we were purchasing our house. I'm curious, tell me in the comments if you own a home right now, if you're in the process of looking to buy something. It can feel really daunting, but having kind of a guide plan and things for us that we knew was really important for us, and then important things to check and just try to the best of our ability to make sure we didn't end up in some place that we absolutely hated or that was a total dud. These questions and these kind of consideration points, this list of 15 things really helped us in the process, and we ended up on this beautiful 5 acres out in the countryside outside of the Raleigh area, and we are so grateful. Also in this video, I am going to give you guys the long-awaited empty house tour. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen lots of little snippets and tidbits of things from our empty house. We're still not in it. We're currently still living in this RV because we are completely renovating the inside of the house, which is just right here on the other side of the camera that you can't see. We have made so much progress in the last 2.5 months. We are so grateful and so excited. I want to show you guys our starting point of where we began with this house, because I just think there's nothing better than a good before and after house transformation. Can I get a witness? Without further ado, let's jump right into the list of 15 things that I think are so important to know and to consider when buying a house. And spoiler alert, I saved some of the most surprising and best ones for last, so make sure you stick around for that. Number one, I think this is the most important thing when you are considering a home to buy, is knowing what is important to you and what your own personal vision for your family and for your life. What is the vision for said property slash home? As you're doing the online hunting and searching, it can be so easy to you're trying to envision yourself in these different places, especially if you are on a budget and you have a set price point of what you are looking at and you're just trying to figure out how you can make this work. But I think the number one most important thing is knowing what your vision is. For Adam and I, our vision was very much to have space for our kids and for us to be outside. We wanted to get chickens and to have a garden and space for the kids to run around and build forts. And we spent so many years when we were living in Mexico and in California in really small apartments, very small houses with minimal to no backyard or outdoor space. We just wanted our kids to be able to be outside so that they could just have that old-fashioned childhood. Like, I remember I played outside so much. My siblings and I, we would go out and we would play in the, we call it the woods, you know, which was really, looking back, was not actually woods. It was just like a big tree line along between our yard and the fields. But I just have some of my most core fond memories with my siblings as kids and in my childhood was being outside, building forts, playing in the creek, trying to build tree houses, having our kittens, just all the things that we did outside. And that was so much my dream for our kids. So that really helped us as we were narrowing our search. I think sometimes when we just cast our net so wide and we're just looking at maybe everything within your price budget or everything within the possible area of where you want to live, it can be really overwhelming if there's so many choices. Number two, it is so important to remember that you cannot change the land and the property that your house sits on. You can make so many changes to the house, as you will see in the coming video. Adam and I say we bought this property that we are now on. We bought it for the land and for the outside and the bones of the house, but not so much for the house. We don't really love the house, but we are transforming it into a place that we know is going to serve us really well and that we're just going to love and feel so cozy and at home in. For us, wanting to start, homesteading in a very small way. I looked at a lot of properties here in North Carolina. There's lots of trees and a lot of the places that hit our criteria, which was at least 3 acres of land, was heavily wooded. Some of it just had lots of underbrush and it wasn't really usable land. I remember we found this one house that we almost put an offer on. It was a half-finished brand new construction home. The home would have been gorgeous. Like, it had lots of space. It had an upstairs and downstairs, which I love. That was something we ended up settling on or kind of giving up here with this property because there was so much more that we loved and that we ultimately really wanted. This house would have been gorgeous. We would have had to completely refinish the inside of it, but it sat on 7 acres and I'm like, oh, 7 acres, like that's amazing. But it was 7 acres of wooded underbrush property. And I remember my friend Jen, who is a homesteader out in Northern California, just saying, having land with, if you want to homestead and you want to have animals, having land that has fencing already on it and where there is there's pasture land, there's outbuildings, that is absolutely invaluable. Now, you might not be looking to start a homestead or to have animals on your property. But again, just think through this goes back to what is your vision. That staying true to yourself, staying true to the desires of your heart and the vision that you have is just really, really important. Other things to check on in regards to the property is, are you going to be in a neighborhood where there is an HOA? And again, this goes back to what is important to you. For us, we want to have chickens. We want to have animals, small livestock. And so being in, again, in this particular area, this is going to vary wherever you are looking in the country. There were some properties that we found that were, that had several acres on them that were in neighborhoods, and just asking our realtor, what are the HOA rules here? In state regulations or city regulations on specific livestock, like there can just be really funky things in your county, in your state. And so just, again, knowing what is important to you, knowing your vision for the property and for your home, and asking questions and making sure you're not going to get into a place where they're like, you aren't allowed to have chickens here. You aren't allowed to do XYZ. Number 3, choosing a real estate agent and lending team that is going to serve you, your personality, and what your needs are. Someone who is going to set you at ease, who is paying attention and listening to things that matter to you is so important. We ended up getting connected with an amazing real estate agent who was recommended to us through my brother-in-law. This might not have been a good fit for some people, but it worked really well for us. He does real estate on the side, which if you live in the Raleigh area and you need a recommendation, hit me up and I can give you his information. He was absolutely incredible, but he could really only do things on the nights and the weekends because he had a full-time job during the week. And so we were totally okay because of our schedule of working for ourselves. We were totally fine with working around his schedule. And then he ended up giving us an awesome kickback when we closed on our house because he wasn't able to be available all day, any day throughout the week, and we were willing to accommodate that. He just blessed us in that way, and it ended up saving us a ton of money, and it all worked out, and we meshed really well. Same thing with our lender. She was absolutely incredible. This is the team who's going to set up the whole home buying experience for you with the lawyers and the banks and the title company and all the legal stuff, things that I had never really thought through before. Don't settle on trying to make it work with someone where you just aren't vibing. Number 4, and I think this one kind of goes without saying, but I think it's important to note, making your offer contingent on a home inspection is so important. Having someone come through and give you a really good baseline of what you're looking at for the house. Ask around for recommendations for a reputable home inspector. Inquire about things. Don't settle, okay? Make sure that you're checking up on the age and condition of the furnace.
Of the HVAC, of the water heater, the windows, piping, plumbing, electrical, the roof, the exterior of the home, like just really paying attention to those details.
Just really paying attention to those details.
We don't want to get stuck with a lemon, and doing your due diligence to make sure you're getting that home inspection done is going to serve you so well. Number 5, think about the resale value. We plan to be here for quite a while, but I still think it's really important to think about, should you have to or should you want to sell your particular home or property down the road? Think about what might make that either really easy to do or what might cause that to be set back. Are there quirky things that will make it hard to sell? We looked at this one house that was, oh my gosh, you guys, I have never been in a more creepy, weird house in my life. The rooms were like weird triangular sizes. There was like, the basement was just like something you'd see on a horror movie. It was the weirdest thing. You go up one hidden staircase and here's a movie room, like so many weird things. And while we could have probably gotten that property for a really cheap price, and we probably could have, I don't know, it was so weird.
I don't even know if that was a face that a mother could love.
So bad. Think about things that would make it potentially hard to sell. What is the school district like? Even if you homeschool your kids like we do, thinking about those things really matters because that is often things that people take into consideration when they're buying a home.
Is it a desirable area? Look around. Do the neighbors look like they take care of their property? Even things like looking for American flags. For me, is like something important. It's like if the crap were to really hit the fan, are these going to be people who kind of look like my people? You feel me?
Number 6, and again, this somewhat goes without saying, but stick within your budget and plan for unexpected expenses. I feel like there are always going to be surprises and things that come up no matter how much we do our due diligence. And so being realistic about your renovation or just your project budget, know your skill level, know the ability of and the skills of the people that are in your village. Maybe you aren't really great at home renovation things, but maybe you have friends. Maybe you could barter or you could swap things with people that are in your community who could help you with stuff. We have guys and friends from our church who have been here helping us and getting things done. My father-in-law is leaving next week, but he's been here for, it'll be almost 6 weeks in total. He's been helping us a ton. So it made it really possible for us to be able to do this complete home renovation, like basically nearly gutting everything. Number 7, checking, this one is so important. Okay, things that have to do with water, okay, is just so important. So look at the foundation, pay attention. Does water run away from the house? There was one property that we looked at and it was a decent, 2-story home, but it was backed up to a hill. And then the house that was behind the house we were looking at was kind of up on the hill. You could just see where the drainage came down the back of that hill straight into the back porch area and then to the foundation and that kind of crawl space, and you could tell that there was just signs of water damage and things like that. And that's so important. Again, just be aware. It's so much more than just the house. Be aware of the surroundings. Okay, are we on number 8? I should have been actually marked these numbers down. But again, going right along, piggybacking along with water drainage to and from the house is look for signs of mold, mildew, water damage in the house. You guys, cracking, paint or kind of crumbling paint, especially in a bathroom, bubbling, especially in bathrooms and under sink, musty smells in the basement, crawl spaces, look for cracked walls, signs of water damage, foundation settling. So many things to pay attention to, you guys. Ugh. When we lived in Mexico, we ended up with a toxic mold situation in our house, and one of our kids ended up really sick, experiencing night terrors. It was absolutely horrific. We had no idea that it was linked to mold. We were like, is this something spiritual going on? Is he really sick? Is there something that it was really, really scary time, not to mention incredibly exhausting. By the grace of God and literal providence of God, we ended up discovering that it was mold. The child out of that environment completely cleared up the sleep issues, completely cleared up the sinus stuff, the huge puffy eyes. It was like night and day difference. I am a total mold freak now because it's just so important and can absolutely wreak havoc on your health. There's an incredible account on Instagram called Mold Finders. Just search Mold Finders. I'll link them down in the description below. But they're an amazing resource. So look into that. I am so passionate about people being aware of the effects that mold can have on their health. And if you can avoid buying a musty, water damaged home and just save yourself all that headache and trouble and expense of having to remediate that, you're gonna be really happy. Number 9, check the septic tank, okay? Ask questions about that. If the house was built before the 80s, ask if the drainage field has ever been replaced, as they have a 30-year lifespan. Also ask about limits on the home size. This is something interesting and something hopefully that is not gonna come back and bite us in the butt, but our home has a limit to 2 rooms on our septic system, and we did buy it knowing that, knowing at some point we might have to put in a bigger, I think it's called a leach field or drainage field. Just things to be aware of. Number 10, consider your water quality for the area and the home that you're purchasing. We looked at a few homes in a particular area that is known for incredibly toxic water. When I looked it up on, I think it was on EWG, it was like astronomical amounts of toxicities in the water based on averages for the United States actually are pretty close to that particular city. So we purchased a water system for ourselves. We're putting in a whole house water filtration system that is called the AQUA. It is made in the USA, built by veterans. So I love that. I love supporting a business like that. I'm going to link the company down below and the gentleman who was the salesperson that we worked with. They were absolutely amazing, and they have some hookups for discounts. I think we ended up spending, I believe if I remember correctly, it was right around $3,500 for the whole house system. Contaminants in our water, again, kind of going back to the mold topic, is such an underrated piece of conversation, point of conversation that I think is just so overlooked, and the links that the allowable levels of toxicity in our water, the effects it can have on our health, the carcinogenic effects. It is so important. So I cannot implore you guys enough just to be aware of this. There's lots of ways to work around. Again, we are going to be getting this whole house water system put into place, but there's also great things that you can do even if you can't put in a whole house water system. You can get shower filters, bath filters, you can get reverse osmosis, you can do a Berkey system. There's so many great options that you can find to fit into your budget. There's also a great website called mytapwater.org. I'll link it down below, and you can see what the contaminants are in your area or in the particular area where you're thinking about buying. Things that are slowly affecting our health and our wellness that we might not see the effects for till long down the road, but it's so important to make those a priority and figure out how to be intentional, even if it's just little baby steps in the right direction. Number 11, some a random assortment of things to check, okay? Check for flood zones. I know that you can check, I think it's on Redfin, the website Redfin. It will tell you, you can input your information there for any particular property you're looking at, and it will give you the details on flood zones. Check for easements, so check for things like boundary line issues. Drive around the neighborhood, again, look and see what do the properties look like. Looked at one property that we thought about putting an offer on, but there was a car junkyard just a stone's throw up the gravel road, and it just felt really odd, and just the worry of like what is leaching into the groundwater. So have your eyes open as you're driving around, being aware. Check with the county and city for future building and development projects that could be coming to your area that could increase or decrease the value of your land. There's a lot of big manufacturing plants that are coming into this area where we ended up buying land, and that is going to be awesome for our property values. Check the offender list. There's a great website that you can go to called criminalwatchdog.com/neighborhood-watch. I will link it down below, but that's a really great one. You can pull up and just look and see what's the vibe, what do you have going on there. Number 12. View the property through the lens of all 4 seasons. And this is just kind of, might seem like a little thing, but again, you want to have your creative, forward-thinking cap on as you are viewing the property. So if you're looking at something in the winter, think about what it might look like. What is the yard size? What is the upkeep going to be? Are there gardens? Are there bushes, trees? If you're looking at something in the summer, think about, and you live in an area where there's snow and you have really cold winters, like, pay attention to, you know, are you gonna have a lot of snow removal to do? Again, just being aware and kind of putting on in your mind a lens of the 4 different seasons, I think can just kind of help you to think through potential things that you might either love or hate about that particular property. Number 13. This one is so important. When I had this conversation on Instagram with a bunch of people who follow me there, and they were chiming in on all of these suggestions, there were things that I legit had no idea to even think about, but it's really important. So I'm going to rattle through these. This is a list. Think through and consider the environmental toxicities that would be present for any particular property or home that you're looking to purchase. Watch for areas that might spray. You're going to be getting toxic overspray on your particular property. Are you close to recycling plants, smelters, army bases? Are there airports in proximity? Schools, golf courses, and city parks? I never thought about the golf courses and city parks. There's gonna be a lot of chemical overspray in places like this. Check the proximity to metal power lines, towers, 5G towers, all of this stuff. Just, while it can't be perfect, it's good to just be aware and going in with our eyes wide open. There's also a great website that you can check out how many towers are in proximity to any given property that you're looking at. I will link that down below. Again, we live in an imperfect, toxic world, and so we don't want to live in fear. And there are just some things that we just can't get, unless we actually want to completely live off grid, like in the middle of Montana or something. We can't get away from all of it, unfortunately. I still like living close to my against the grain gluten-free pizza, and so that means that I'm probably going to be close to some 5G towers. Number 14, trust the process. I was listening to a YouTube video this lady was talking about just about personal growth, but she said this line that has stuck with me so much since then: rejection is protection. And I've really mulled over that, whether this is this can apply to so many things, in a relationship, in business, in our personal lives. And I really believe that this is true when it comes to properties that we are looking at. Only other property that we did actually make an offer on was 4 acres, actually not too far from here. We ended up being completely denied. And at the time, it was such a big bummer. Like, we were just so ready to be out of the RV, so ready to be on our own property, not having to move this RV every 2 weeks to another campsite. Like, we were over it at that point. And so it was so disappointing when that offer just completely got shut down, and they were like, we're not even talking to you. I guess they didn't like what we offered them. It's fine. But now, hindsight, once we got onto this property and we are here now, and we are just so incredibly grateful. This was always the property that was meant to be. This is home. This is where we're supposed to be in this season. And looking back, I just have so much gratitude and see that rejection was protection. It was saving us for this property where we need to be right here in this season. And we're so incredibly grateful. And this property is even this house, for everything that we don't necessarily love about the house and the things that we want to change, is infinitely better than the other property and house that we were looking at. And I am so grateful that while it was difficult in the moment, we were being protected and saved for this house. And I'm so thankful. So I think it's so important to go into your home buying experience with that mindset and just knowing that it's all working out exactly the way it's supposed to, which leads me to my 15th and final thought for you that I want to leave you with, is to go with your gut. Don't settle on what matters the most to you, and trust that truly everything is working out perfectly just the way that it's supposed to. I think those thoughts really guided me through the months of searching for a house, and even just in trying to decide where we wanted to settle and where we wanted to actually live, like trusting that it's all working out. It's all working out. And I can just have faith that God has gone before us, that there is a perfect place for us, that there is work for us to do in this particular place, that the perfect home, the perfect environment, while there is no perfect, right? There's no perfect place, but it's perfect for us. It's perfect for our family, perfect for our season, perfect for the next areas of growth and transformation and renewing that needs to happen, and healing, all those things. It's all working out the way it's supposed to. And when we can really trust the process of that, I think that just creates a lot of peace in the unknown and peace in kind of the chaos of trying to navigate home buying. It really got me through. Honestly, it really got me through. And now that we're here, I think it's so easy to look back and to see like, oh, of course, it was always meant to be this place. It was always meant to be this home. It was always meant to be these beautiful fields and the adorable barn that I love so much. And just the vision and the dreams that we know, again, going back to point number one, knowing your vision, knowing the desire and what you want to, the life that you want to create for yourself and for your family and for your community and for your friend. It's so much more than just for ourselves. We truly believe that this property is a gift that is being entrusted to Adam and I and to our kids, and we get to not only use it to create a space of peace and healing and joy and rest for our family, but we get to share that with others, with our friends, with people that come across our path, to be able to see now this is what was supposed to be. This is where we're supposed to be, and we're just so dang grateful. So on that note, let's transition now to an empty house tour. I took these videos on my cell phone again. The original footage, good camera footage, got deleted, but it's still gonna be great. I'm excited for you guys to see it again. This is before we had really started doing any work. This was the morning after we got back from our Christmas travels in Iowa, and we were just so overjoyed and grateful to finally be here on the property. And so I'm excited to walk you guys through and show you all the rooms, a little bit of our vision for this space. Yeah, all right, let's get into it. Welcome everyone. Step right into this beautiful, very outdated 1950s home we are now the proud owners of. Right off the bat, as you walk in the living room, is this very long galley style living room. I love the fireplace. It works, you guys. I'm so excited about that. I just can envision Christmas this year. It's gonna be magical. You guys saw that little enclosed porch. That is all gonna be completely changed. I feel like it really blocks a lot of the natural light. And we have a lot of dreams for making a big, open, beautiful porch, but more on that later. There is some funky stuff in this house. You see this little window cutout? Very interesting design choice that we will be switching. It's gonna change, y'all. But this is our living room. I love it. I love the huge picture window. I love what we have done with vaulting the ceilings and taking down this big dividing wall that kind of just creates these galley kitchen, galley living room. So this is the kitchen. Everything is incredibly outdated. All of the cabinets are being changed, the countertops, the whole design, really. It's going to end up being an L-shaped kitchen, and I just can't wait to show you. This is going to be an epic before and after. It is quite a long time coming, it feels, but I envision having a swing right here. I just want to be the fun house. I'm going to live out my childhood dreams in this home and make all the magical stuff happen, like a big reading nook or a little reading nook up in the attic. You just stay tuned. Anyway, so this kitchen's going to be gorgeous. New appliances, the farmhouse sink. You can see the windows kind of shine out to, or open out to, shine. They give you a view out to the backyard. And then we have this circular, or like half circle, I guess, hall that leads to each of the rooms. Lots of texture in this home, you guys. Popcorn ceilings, yes, we did have them tested for asbestos. They were negative. Lots of feathering popcorn texture on the walls. It has been quite the labor of love, but it's amazing when you get rid of that stuff. Like, it is an instant upgrade. So you can see this hall just circles around to the living room. This is the back side of the fireplace, and it's going to be all exposed brick. It is going to be gorgeous. Here is our single full bathroom that we have, and you can see they just had a very interesting design choice. Lots of blue grays. It's not my fave. This is phase 2. We already have a new toilet, which is a big upgrade. I want to take out that funky soffit, redo the shower, just redo everything. But this is going to be a hot second before that gets done. We have 2 hall closets. This is a cozy 1,560 square feet for our family of 6. But we're going to make it work. You want to take bets in the comments? How many more babies can we have before we max this house out? All right, let's start in the bedrooms. This is the girls' room. We are about halfway done on this project as I'm recording this, and it is so beautiful. I can't wait to show you. Of course, we ripped out the nasty carpet. Lots of texture on these walls that came down. The wainscoting came down. We've put in some shaker style wainscoting that's just beautiful. This closet is going to be functional again. And then there is this little small kind of traditional closet, I guess. I'm gonna have to get real creative with storage here, but I can do it. I know I'm up for the task. All right, moving on to the boys' bedroom, which is the smallest of the 3 rooms in the house. It had some crazy texture on the ceilings and walls that was a really big labor of love for Adam to take care of and just really refresh, but it legit makes a complete world of difference. It's like a different bedroom. We took off these kind of funky Victorian-esque, very ugly in my opinion, cheap closet doors, and we're just gonna do some fun stuff in this room for the boys. I have a vision of doing a fun little rock climbing wall and a reading nook up in the very top of this closet. Just kind of make it fun for them. They're a little bummed about having the smallest room, but you know, it's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Next up, step into the luxurious master bedroom. Welcome, welcome. These floors are beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really bummed that these floors were not all the way through the house, perfectly uniform, but you guys, I just was not up for redoing floors and trying to piece it together. So some of y'all are gonna hate me for it, but it is gorgeous. This room is almost done as I am recording this, and it's so beautiful. I love it. I can't wait to show you. This master bedroom has a real tiny closet style half bath. This is a phase 2 project, redoing this bathroom. It'll be pretty easy to do, but just wasn't our top priority. So we're gonna make it work in the meantime, but nice to have a second toilet in a relatively smaller size house. It's just great with all the kids and for when we have visitors, and just to have additional space. I'll tell you what, we don't have additional space in the closet. This is all we've got in the master bedroom. Lord have mercy. I don't know. We're gonna have to make it work. All right, welcome to the funky carport. This used to be, I guess, where they parked cars, and then at some point somebody enclosed it in, and you can see it's just a very interesting room. I have a lot of ideas of how we're going to try to make this space functional. The open window to the living room will be closed off. I am envisioning a schoolroom / playroom space, and then on this back end, a beautiful laundry room. It's gonna you're gonna have to trust my vision on it. It's gonna be great. But that's the house. That is, what do you guys think? Do you love it? which is your favorite room? Tell me down in the comments. We have now been in the now been here for almost, well, 2.5, almost 3 months here in like a week or so, which is absolutely crazy. And so much has been done. I cannot wait to do some more long form videos. I have shared a lot on Instagram, some of the renovations and the upkeep. If you don't follow me there, you can go find me at Nicole Neesby or check out my reno highlight that is saved on my profile, and you can see a lot of things if you want an inside quick sneak peek to bring yourself up to speed. But I am excited in the next couple weeks to do some update videos for you guys here in a little more long form, to walk you through the house, show you what we've done a little bit, and then there will be individual videos coming out for each room. So I'm excited to do, we're going to show you guys the sisters room makeover, the brothers room makeover,
our master bedroom makeover, the main living space. You know, we'll probably do an entire kitchen renovation, extreme makeover.
I am like so excited about. I am currently nailing down all the details for the kitchen, and I just wake up every day and I just like envision myself waking up, going into the kitchen, making breakfast for the kids, like doing school in that room, like just getting my diffusers loaded up, you know, opening the windows, getting the place decorated. Like I just put myself there because it has been quite the experience living under construction for a quarter of a year. But it's going to be so worth it when we get done with it. And I'm going to be so glad that we didn't cut corners and that we just really did what we want. We made the vision come to life. I am so grateful that you're here. If you have not subscribed already, make sure you hit subscribe, hit the little bell button so that you are notified every time we upload another video. Next week, I will be bringing another video to you with a spring tour and kind of spring outdoor tour of the property. I want to show you guys all the nooks and crannies of this property. I want to show you what it looks like in spring as things are coming to life, and walk you through what we've done so far and what our vision is. Once we get done with the inside of the house, this phase 1 renovation, we are coming to the outside. We have lots to do and it's going to be really exciting. So I can't wait to share that with you. And if you are in the process of buying a home, I just want to say Godspeed to you. I hope this has been helpful. I would love to hear down in the comments if you have any suggestions or tips from when you have purchased a house, or which of these tips felt the most helpful for you. And just know that I'm saying a prayer for every single one of you who are in the home buying process, because it is not for the faint of heart. But just remember, like my friend Kayla always told me as we were in this process, we are one step closer to home, and I just pass that on to you as well if you're in this season. I love y'all. I can't wait to see you on the next video.